What's the word? What's the word? We're here with a trade recap. This is the first one I've done before, so I kind of wanted to get these out, kind of to help you guys see how I trade my continuation model. I'll be doing a video specifically on my model alone, like just like breaking down how I trade continuations. But this is a trade recap. Today is January 29th. It's a Thursday, so I wanted to go over today. First thing that I'm always aware of is news for the day. So I check red news folders when I'm trading NQ. Sometimes I do swing trades on my live account, and I trade USD JPY. That's the only forex pair that I trade. So I'll be looking at JPY as well. But for the most part, it's just USD. We did have unemployment come out above expectation. So that was definitely something to be aware of going into pre-market. So the first thing that I do when I get onto the charts is I look at the higher time frame. And so on the higher time frame going into today, I can see they were rejecting off at this point of resistance above us on the 1 hour, also forming 1 hour lower highs or higher lows. Scale down to the 15-minute. Hopefully it doesn't fuck nothing up. All right, there we go. Stop market open. Coming down to the 15-minute, we were also displacing towards the downside. Our closest drawn liquidity lower if we were to continue this downtrend. Again, since we trade continuations, I always want to follow the trend, would be this internal low resting below us right here on the 15-minute. And then also this 5-minute internal low, which was right about here that we could get entry up to. So those are the two prominent draws on liquidity I wanted to target going into today. So I believe this was, so pre-market ended up taking out the drawn liquidity of that swing low that I wanted to take out prior. And so now the only remaining draw that I was very strong, or I was very appealed to getting, was this 15-minute drawn liquidity that I had marked out below us. And then if we wanted to go lower, I would see if we displaced lower, but this would be my ideal target drawn liquidity for us to continue this downtrend and immediately take this out. So if we scale back out to the 15-minute, you can also see that we're rejecting off of a 15-minute fair value gap to the downside. 5-minute rejection to the downside as well. And all I was looking for at this point was for market open to either sweep out some internal liquidity or give us a fair value gap retap or a change in state of delivery to the downside. Some type of entry model for us to go and target these lows resting below us. And so immediately off of open, we completely inverse. As we take out this internal liquidity and reverse back to the downside. At this point, I have my entry set at about right here off of this close. All I want to see is price flush with more volume to the downside. I had targeted this drawn liquidity with a 25-point stop loss just like this. Ended up getting put into the trade right here. Price had actually went back up right here, came all the way back up, retested it again, and then flushed back down with volume. That's when I had entered as opposed to entering here off of open before we took out the liquidity. Again, respecting this 5-minute and 15-minute fair value gap resting above us to continue running lower. And so this is where I'd get put into the trade. So if we just skip through a little bit, you can see we got a pullback into our entry right here. And boom. So at this point, I'm going break even. I always go break even at the highest wick that we tend to pivot off of. So you can see we had that flush, price retrace a little bit, bounce back out to our entry, and then continued flushing lower. Once we hit that level right there, that's when I like to go break even if there is no other internal sources of liquidity for me to take my profits or go BE at. And so this would be the draw liquidity. So now at this point, we're break even. This is now risk-free trade. Respect this fair value gap and run lower, securing full TP in about 4 minutes, I believe. So, all right, so you can see that this is the exact entry that I had set above. And we continued to flush everything out. And we ended up dropping 600 points, which is fucking insane today. From the top of market open all the way down to this move right here was a 629-point move to the downside. It was a crazy, crazy dump. And there was honestly a lot of setups that you could have taken, especially if you're a continuation trader, depending on your entry model and stuff like that. I know a lot of traders trade this model. I know AG, AB, Jack, and Cole all trade this model. As far as like the traders that I know in this space, they trade similar discretionary based draw and liquidity target continuation models. There was another draw that we took out below that, this 15-minute extended wick right there. Again, but since we were displacing so heavily, there wasn't really that deep of a retrace for very, very valid entries. And then also this setup right here presented itself here. So there's 3 different draws on liquidity that I had marked out below where I took my profits at, and we took out all 3 of them. Basically a lot more too if you marked out more, but I mean, as far as these 2 external draws on liquidity that I had marked out, took that out pretty easily and continued flushing lower. So this is my first trade today on NQ, and this was for $827 across 2 express or qualified alpha futures accounts. I just got a new Top Step XFA to add to my stack. Right now I'm trying to add 1 XFA per payout or maybe 2. And this was honestly a beautiful setup coming into gold. So as far as my gold trade, I'll try to be a little bit quicker with this one. Again, this was a pretty simple, clear cut. God damn, I can't fucking. Again, so this is a pretty clear trade. 1 hour is bouncing off of two FEGs to the downside. We have no sign of this being a retrace to continue running lower. So at this point, I'm bullish to continue filling this big 4 hour gap that we are resting in. 15-minute looks absolutely beautiful. We get a rebalance into this 15-minute gap, continue higher. Once again, rebalance into this 15-minute gap, continue higher. And the thing is, even if we are bouncing off of these 15-minute gaps, I don't want to see chop out of it because a lot of times we're able to just run right through them. I want to see clear displacement higher, closing above a swing high or a swing low or some type of change of character on the low time frame to kind of indicate that we're going to continue this trend to the upside. Again, 5 minute, we close. 5 minute closes above, get our change of character to the upside, boom. And we get a strong displacing candle to the upside right here, which basically confirmed that these two draws on liquidity, one internal, one external, were very valid for us to take in order for us to continue running higher. Now, at this time as well, we did have news come out with, I think, X and OpenAI. I think they're like coming together on a chip or something like that. And I follow all the Twitter pages I follow a whole bunch of Twitter pages that post news. So like that's how you keep up to date with the non-red folder news and shit like that. And so they came out and said that they were doing a partnership. NQES were both going up. Gold is going up, silver is going up. Everything started going up, and we started rebalancing after the Microsoft earnings crash that we had earlier today across a majority of assets. And so, with that being bullish as well, news being on my side, let's go down to the 1 minute, see a rebound, retap into this 1 hour FEG. Again, with no prominent displacement to the downside, we get a pretty decent close. I kind of pulled the trigger here early just because of discretion and this displacement to the upside. Since I was taking this trade to pass an eval, I put a $1,500 take profit, so I ended up being slightly above this internal wick. So I actually went break even a little earlier, and once we crossed this wick right here off of this semi pullback in the 1 minute time frame, that's when I went break even, and you can see we clearly displaced higher, and we took out not only this internal drawn liquidity but also this external drawn liquidity to the upside. You guys can see the same entry right here, and also while we were in the trade, 1 hour, 1 minute bounced off of fair value, got to continue running higher. This gave me confidence to go break even as soon as we closed right above there. And honestly, a picture perfect trade for $1,496. Nothing too crazy for the day. Definitely all glory to God. Is definitely a very, very much of a blessing to be able to make money from trading and to learn how to trade and just be able to just, wake up, get on the charts, have a skill that can pay you out for the rest of your life. If you master it and you follow your rules and you stay disciplined. And so like, it's just something that if you just put in the work every single day, you can definitely achieve great things in this thing that we call life. So that's my word of advice to you guys. That's really all I have as far as the two recaps. Again, we had a $1,496 day across my eval, and then we had a $870 something day across two funded accounts. So I'll do the math and I'll put that shit on here. But that's about it. Let me know if y'all want more recaps below. I'll definitely keep these coming. And then, if you guys have any questions, DM me on Instagram. I respond to all my DMs. And then if you guys are looking for more one-on-one help, click the link below in my bio.